For better or for worse, I love Danganronpa. I still remember randomly downloading Trigger Happy Havoc and immediately being obsessed with the psychopop art style, the death game premise, the dope music, and the gifted but troubled characters. I ran through all 3 mainline games in a matter of weeks, hanging on to my seat as each victim was found, culprit was revealed, and plot twist was experienced. I finished V3, which I know some people didn't really mesh with, but I personally loved. But then it was over. Yes, there's the Danganronpa 3 anime, Ultra Despair Girls, and Decadence, but none of those hit the same way. Luckily, Danganronpa 2x2 is coming out, or if you're watching this in the future, it may already be out. And like these guys,
No, absolutely not!
Shut the fuck up, bro.
Danganronpa? Okay.
Oh no!
I'm very excited. But how do we feed our Danganronpa addiction until then, or even after? That's where this idea came into being. I was on the hunt to get my Danganronpa fill for a while, and it was thanks to these games that I've been able to survive for so long. To make it onto this list, the game had to fall under these criteria: has an ensemble cast, has a death game premise, has a character-focused narrative, is fully released, is playable, so you won't see any web series or Instagram fangans here, but playable fangans are definitely fair game, and bonus points if it has a talking anthropomorphic mascot. There will also be an honorable mention section at the end for a quick look at games that didn't hit all this criteria, but that I think Danganronpa fans may still enjoy. Well, without further ado, let's get started. First up is Danganronpa Another, and this isn't just another fan game. It's a legitimate masterpiece created by Korean developer Laneige, and can honestly be noted as the Fangan that started it all. You play as Yuki Maeda, an average boy who has been chosen by lottery as the ultimate lucky student for the 79th class of Hope's Peak Academy, along with 14 other ultimate students. He meets up with his classmates at the entrance, only to pass out and wake up later inside the academy and have to participate in a death game hosted by an animatronic bear called Monokuma. This all sounds kind of familiar, doesn't it? What starts as a familiar setup quickly evolves into something entirely its own. The game was programmed entirely using RPG Maker 2000, but don't let that fool you. The production values are impressive, so while you'll see a lot of the main series minigames, they are done in an RPG Maker kind of way. Still loads of fun, but just different. The English translation is available, making this accessible to international fans. If you've been craving a Danganronpa experience with fresh characters and mysteries, Danganronpa Another delivers exactly that, the same high-stakes atmosphere you love. Moving on to the sequel, Super Danganronpa Another 2 takes everything great about the first game and amplifies it. Better minigames, music, and visuals are all a part of this upgrade to the Danganronpa Another package. Waking up in a strange land, a white-haired girl who can only remember the name Sora meets a red-haired boy and realizes they are both Hope's Peak Academy graduates, though Sora cannot remember her talent. After meeting up with the 13 other students there with them, they are called forth by Monocro, who informs them they are on a killing school field trip, using the Monocru's ship to sail through the 5 Isles. And the only way out is to kill a student and get away with it. Laneige, in the announcement blog, stated that he wished to break as many ties to canon as he possibly could, while retaining certain aspects of it. What makes Super Danganronpa 2 special is its commitment to innovation while respecting the source material, making this a must-play after completing Danganronpa Another. For something a little bit more intimate, Danganronpa Lapse offers a refreshing take on the formula. 10 students find themselves trapped in a luxurious mansion and soon discover there is only one requirement for escape: to kill each other. Follow the story through Echo Pine's eyes, unraveling the secrets of their enclosure and the secrets of their fellow students. The constraint actually works in the game's favor, allowing for deeper character development and more focused storytelling. The game was inspired by mystery games like Ghost Trick, Hotel Dusk, the Ace Attorney series, and the works of Kotaro Uchikoshi. And from this inspiration, they formed the idea that they wanted the atmosphere of Lapse to be unnerving for the player. Now, shifting to professional releases, Process of Elimination brings a unique strategy twist to the murder mystery formula. The story follows Wata Hojo, a high school detective who has been caught up in the operations of the Detective Alliance, an international group of expert detectives. He is brought to a mysterious island along with 13 other detectives, each with a special talent, in order to solve the mystery of the Quartering Duke, a vicious killer with over 100 victims to their name. Unfortunately, while investigating, your fellow detectives start murdering each other, and it's on you to figure it out. The biggest difference between Danganronpa and Process of Elimination is that while Danganronpa places most of its gameplay emphasis on the big confrontations and class trials, Process of Elimination instead focuses on evidence collection. Each case plays out in a top-down map where you command each detective and play to their individual strengths to explore the area, inspect evidence, and work together to get as much information as you can within a set number of turns. Process of Elimination investigation segments last 9 turns, each turn considered an hour until annihilation. This creates genuine tension as you race against the time to gather crucial evidence. If you enjoy the mystery solving aspects of Danganronpa but want to try a different approach, Process of Elimination delivers this in spades. No discussion of murder mystery games would be complete without the Zero Escape series. Each game in this series follows a group of 9 individuals who are kidnapped and held captive by a person codenamed Zero and are forced to play a game of life and death to escape. The gameplay is divided into 2 types of sections: novel sections, where the story is presented, and escape sections, where the player solves escape the room puzzles. A bundle containing the first 2 games, titled Zero Escape the Nonary Games, was released for Windows, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation Vita, making it easy to jump into this acclaimed series. The games are renowned for their complex narratives that blend science fiction, philosophy, and psychological horror. A recurring theme is the concept of morphogenetic fields, which is explored in different ways in each game. If you enjoy Danganronpa's philosophical depth and moral complexity, the Zero Escape series is absolutely essential. Raging Loop takes the social deduction elements that make Danganronpa trials so compelling and makes them the entire focus. Raging Loop is a Japanese horror mystery visual novel developed by Kemco. The game essentially takes the Werewolf Mafia party game and transforms it into a full narrative experience. Raging Loop is an interactive visual novel with a branching plot line in which the player's choices affect the direction of the story. Certain choices reward the player with keys, which can be used to unlock additional choices and explore more of the story. Raging Loop is a horror visual novel, yet it manages to create a spooky atmosphere without relying on jump scares or excessive gore. There are a lot of violent deaths in the game, but they are described through the text and shown with discretion shots that hint at the gruesome acts that took place for the more squeamish among us. Paranormasight, The 7 Mysteries of Hanjo, is Square Enix's haunting supernatural mystery adventure game that feels like a perfect bridge between Danganronpa and traditional Japanese horror. This multi-layered collection of spine-chilling ghost stories centers across several protagonists who possess the power of curses. The story follows office worker Shoujo Iki and his friend Yoko Fukunaga as they investigate the local ghost story, Hanjo 7 Mysteries, at Kinshibori Park in the middle of the night. When Yoko tells Oki the ghost story has something to do with the rite of resurrection, strange things begin happening before his very eyes. The game features a flowchart that allows players to go between the storylines and perspectives of the main characters. Certain story branches and choices can bring a character to their death, leading players to revert to an earlier scene to deduce how to alter events and trigger an alternative story path. The game draws from real-world urban legends known as the 7 Mysteries of Hanjo, transforming these historical ghost stories into an interactive narrative where your choices determine not just individual fates, but the supernatural forces at work. With its atmospheric horror elements, branching narrative structure, and mature themes involving curses and supernatural revenge, Paranormasight offers a compelling experience for fans of mystery games and Japanese folklore. Shuten Order may be the most ambitious game on this list, and it comes from none other than Kazutaka Kodaka himself, the creator of Danganronpa. Tragedy strikes during the Grand Festival celebrating their nation's founding. The leader of the Shuten Order has been murdered. The protagonist is the murdered founder, revived by divine power. However, the resurrection is incomplete. Their memories are gone, and their life limited to a mere 4 days. Here's where it gets incredible. Depending on which of the 5 ministers you choose to investigate, the game transforms into a completely different genre. The Ministry of Security becomes a stealth action horror experience where you flee from the legendary killer Nephilim. The Ministry of Justice turns into an Ace Attorney-style detective adventure where you solve murders and interview suspects. The Ministry of Education becomes a romance adventure where you must build relationships with 3 enigmatic girls. The Ministry of Health transforms into an extreme escape adventure with death game elements and dangerous puzzles. And finally, the Ministry of Science offers a multi-perspective visual novel experience with flowcharts. Each route lasts several hours and offers a complete unique experience, meaning you're essentially getting 5 games for the price of 1. Gnosia is a masterpiece, single-player social deduction that transforms the party game Werewolf into a compelling sci-fi visual novel. Aboard a spaceship, the player and several NPCs must deduce who on board is Gnosia, an alien-like creature that will kill the regular humans on board. The player works with the NPCs to identify and nominate potential suspects to put them into cryosleep. What makes this game absolutely brilliant is its time loop structure. The player quickly discovers that regardless of the outcome of the investigation, time loops back to the initial discovery of the infection. And this isn't a bug, it's the entire point. The game features RPG-style character progression where you can level up your debate skills, charisma, logic, stealth, and others. The loops gradually introduce new roles like the engineer, who can check if someone is human, the doctor, who can verify the status of eliminated players, the guardian angel, who can protect others, and more complex roles like the AC follower, a human who sides with the killer, and the bug, a reality-breaking anomaly. The game's ultimate message explores themes of identity, sacrifice, and how people construct themselves in conformity with or fighting against different social pressures. Sweet Fuse, at your side, offers a refreshing take on the death game concept by blending it with otome romance elements. You play as Saki, niece to legendary game developer Keiji, and Saki's famous uncle opens a video game theme park called the Gameatorium, and Saki attends the opening ceremony. But things take a deadly turn when Count Hogstein, a malevolent pig, takes over the park and holds everyone hostage, demanding that 7 people participate in a series of deadly games over 7 days to secure everyone's freedom. What sets Sweet Fuse apart is its protagonist. Saki is one of the strongest otome game protagonists ever created. She's kind, curious, brave, and has an explosive insight ability that allows her to solve puzzles that even the older, more experienced men cannot figure out. The game doesn't shy away from having Saki call out sexist behavior when she encounters it, and the male characters actually apologize and learn from these moments. The gameplay includes explosive insight moments, where Saki solves puzzles by selecting key phrases, and what's wrong with you sequences, where players choose whether Saki restrains her anger or lets it out. With multiple endings based on relationship choices and puzzle solutions, Sweet Fuse manages to bring together compelling mystery elements with genuine romance in a way that respects both aspects. The game features over 30 hours of content across 14 different endings, making it substantial for mystery fans and romance fans. Yet another killing game takes a minimalist approach to the killing game concept that's surprisingly effective. 3 girls wake up in an unfamiliar house. With all exits sealed and faced with the prospect of death, they must make difficult choices about who to trust and who will be the one to die. What makes this game fascinating is how it explores the psychology of a killing game with just 3 participants. The intimate setting forces every conversation and decision to carry enormous weight. With so few people, every relationship matters, and the question becomes not just who will survive, but how these characters will maintain their humanity under such extreme circumstances. The game cites Ace Attorney, Danganronpa, and the Zero Escape series as influences, featuring point-and-click investigations in different rooms and decision-making points about who to explore with, what to say, and ultimately, who to kill. Despite being made by a small indie team based in Canada, it features beautifully hand-drawn artwork and multiple endings that encourage repeated playthroughs. For Danganronpa fans looking for something that distills the genre down to its psychological core while adding supernatural horror elements, yet another killing game offers exactly that in a compact but emotionally intense package. Now for some honorable mentions. Project Eden's Garden is perhaps the most anticipated Danganronpa fan game currently in development. This high-production English fan game features full voice acting and stunning visuals that rival the series, with Chapter 1, Beneath the Veil of Hypocrisy, released in December 2024. The story follows Damon, the ultimate debater, as he and 15 other students are trapped in Eden's Garden Academy. What sets this apart is its incredible production values. It genuinely looks and sounds like an official Spike Chunsoft release, but right now only has a demo available. Kill Cure Beautiful Vice has had a tumultuous development history, originally created by Moboxer in 2018, but experiencing multiple director changes and being stuck in development hell for 8 years, before finally releasing its prologue in March 2025. The game follows Class 17 of the Bitukukawa Academy as they're thrust into the Killing Class Festival by the villainous monkey mascot Bizarro Sauru. Despite its troubled development, the prologue does show promise with impressive production values. Next is Your Turn to Die, an exceptional free-to-play game that focuses on how the player handles choice and consequence. High school student Sarah is walking home from school when she and her friend Joe are kidnapped and trapped in a mysterious facility. They are then forced to compete in a death game in which the participants decide who dies by taking majority votes in what we call the main game. Certain decisions made during discussions can change the plot significantly. The psychological weight of making these decisions creates an incredibly tense experience. The last chapter is unfortunately unfinished, but you can play about 70% of the story at the time of this recording. Kumitantei Old School Slaughter is an upcoming professional release that lovingly fuses retro anime aesthetic with killing game elements. Set in an alternate 1986 Japan, where 16 absolute students are trapped in a kill or be killed apathy experiment. The game combines card-based courtroom combat, pixel platforming, old school minigames, and puzzle solving in a Danganronpa-influenced narrative. It's coming to Steam Early Access in 2025. While not yet released, it looks incredibly promising for Danganronpa fans. Inescapable, No Rules, No Rescue attempts to recreate the death game formula, but with adults instead of teenagers. You play as one of 11 people kidnapped and forced to participate in a twisted reality TV show on a tropical island, where you'll receive $500,000 if you survive. But on this island, there are no rules and no rescues. While the concept is solid and the game is fully released, it has received a lot of mixed reviews for its execution and pacing issues, landing it in the honorable mentions category. Next is Master Detective Archives Raincode, which is the spiritual successor to Danganronpa from the series' original creators. Created by Kazutaka Kodaka, the game follows Yuma Kokohead, a detective trainee with amnesia, investigating mysteries in the rain-soaked city of the Kunai Ward. While it features familiar murder mystery elements, it's more of a supernatural detective game than a traditional death game. Buried Stars is a Korean visual novel that captures some of Danganronpa's tension. Set during the finals of a survival audition show, the stage collapses during a live broadcast, trapping contestants and staff, with an anonymous user on social media threatening murder. The game cleverly uses social media mechanics to create immersion and provides multiple endings based on your choices. Paradise Killer offers a completely different take on the murder mystery genre. You play as Lady Love Dies, investigating a mass murder on Paradise Island in an open world setting where you can accuse anyone, but you'll need to prove your case in trial. The game was inspired by various sources, including Danganronpa, and allows players to freely explore and interact with characters over the course of their investigation. It's more about building your own interpretation of the truth rather than finding a single correct answer. And there you have it. Incredible experiences to keep you busy while we wait for Danganronpa 2x2, or to keep you sated once it's out. From the fan-made masterpieces like Danganronpa Another and Your Turn to Die, to professional releases like the Zero Escape series and Process of Elimination, there's no shortage of mind-bending mysteries to solve. Which of these games sounds most intriguing to you? Have you already played any of them? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your experiences with these titles, and if there are any other murder mystery games I should have included. Don't forget to subscribe if you want more deep dives into overlooked gaming gems, and I'll see you in the next video.